I don't think you always get the brand of football that you want at your football club. Of course, there are going to be some exceptions to that rule. I'm pretty sure when Messi and Iniesta and Xavi were playing for Barcelona, there probably weren't too many complaints. Probably at Man City at the moment, you're not going to be too bothered at the system Man City are playing. They keep the ball very nicely, some innovative things going on with the team and players in different positions, John Stones, etc. But I guess by and large, you don't always get the football that you want. And I think that's definitely the case with myself at West Ham. I actually have to think back realistically to the brand of football I really liked and what I like best, and it is a personal preference, was under Alan Pardew. I don't like really direct long ball football. Don't like it. Never have done. I also don't like what I might call tippy-tappy stuff. Talking about that Barcelona team, there were some really good players. I can appreciate Messi. I can appreciate Iniesta, Xavi. Very, very good. But the whole thing about stringing 50 passes together and scoring a perfect goal, it's okay. But I prefer British football, basically. I remember when Alan Pardew came in at West Ham, he said he liked the way West Ham played football. He understood the West Ham way, but he'd like us to get up and attack probably in about 6 or so moves. Get up the pitch in 5 or 6 moves. It was something like that. And I sort of quite liked it, and he did. I like tricky players. I like skillful players. But I've got to be honest with you, as much as I really like Yossi Benayoun, and he was a really good player, I sort of really liked Matty Everington running down the wing and swinging it over with his left foot and getting the cross in early. I like that. I like that counter-attacking style. I like wingers. I'm not... I haven't grown to really love these inverted wingers that we see an awful lot now. I appreciate what Jarrod Bowen does. Don't get me wrong, I really do. But I just wish... Even if it was just for 10 minutes in a game, we'd see him swapped over and just see him crossing early with his left foot and have a right foot on the right, left foot on the left. I quite like that brand of football, if you know what I mean. I think looking at maybe the successful teams of the last few years, and I forget about last year because it all went a bit different last year, but over the last 3 or 4 years, I much preferred the way Liverpool played football than the way Man City played football. So with that in mind, I only make that case because I actually found myself sort of changing without noticing it. Bearing in mind that I like that brand, and I don't like it being hoofed up top, and I've never particularly been a fan of set plays. When West Ham were having a good season a couple of seasons ago, when we qualified for the Europa League and we finished 6th in the league, do you remember that stat that we were the best team in the Premier League for corners and set pieces? And I think it just sort of crept up on us. And I wasn't expecting it. Maybe I should have done when David Moyes came in. Maybe I should have expected. Maybe it was foolish of me to think differently. I didn't think David Moyes was going to play brilliant football. I knew he'd be defensive. But I don't think I was ever prepared for being the best team at set pieces in the league. Do you know what, though? I actually found out I quite liked it. Which was a surprise to me. Because I've already described the type of football I traditionally like. What I'd prefer to see us playing. Fast Premier League football on the deck, pass, crosses into the striker. That's what I like. All the big fellas up for a corner? Not so much. Not traditionally anyway. However, I sort of bought into it. I bought into this story of West Ham being really, really good at set pieces. So we'd have a set piece, Cresswell would go and take the corner, and Souček would be there, and Ogbono would be there, and Dawson would be there. Mikel Antonio's there, roughing the goalkeeper up. Declan Rice. You know, the thing is, they were all so busy marking these giants that we had in the team. Someone like Declan Rice, who maybe he's not a giant, but he's still, what 6'1", something like that. Still left him free. We had so many big guys. I never really liked it. It was a bit Tony Pulis-esque, if I'm honest. But I found myself getting excited every time we got a corner. Every time we got a free kick. I thought, oh, hello. I'll have some of this. Don't mind this. We're going to score a goal now. Was I as excited as when Payet was lining up for a free kick? No, probably not. But it was good, and I bought into it. And I remember myself and Gio doing build-up shows, and then I would say, you know, this team who we're going to be playing in a minute have got to be careful in case we get a corner against them. I used to say they better make sure they don't concede any corners, make sure they don't foul us, otherwise they're going to be in trouble. And they were in trouble. We were absolutely the best in the league at it. And I only say that now because I read something in in a video that I uploaded in the last day or two, and it was about James Ward Prowse. Now, before I talk about James Ward Prowse, I've got to do a disclaimer now, and I do apologise. I have to. If you are nuanced and you operate in the grey area, you're going to hate what I'm going to say now, but you know what I'm going to say now. But I have to do it because there's been an awful lot of black and white posts very, very recently. Because what I don't really particularly need is people saying after this, oh, Gonzo wants James Ward Prowse. That's not what I'm saying. That is not what I'm saying at all. After we won the Cup, I said that David Moyes probably deserved to see out his contract. I thought he'd done well. I thought he'd delivered us a cup. I was pleased. I was happy. I thought he'd joined John Lyle and Ron Greenwood in being only the third manager to bring us a trophy. I thought that was good. I thought that warranted him not getting the sack. I also said in the same video I didn't want him to get a 5-year contract because I didn't believe he was the right guy to bring through this talented crop of youngsters. But I felt he earned at least the right to leave on his own terms, to see out the last year of his contract, if you will. Basically, I was operating in between him getting sacked or staying forever. I was in between those two. However, there it was. Gonzo wants. Not everyone. By and large, I've got to say, 95% of the people who watched the videos sort of got it. But there was a 5% there. Wow, Gonzo wants Moyes to say he's whatever. You know, I tried to explain it. So anyway, I did a terrible job of explaining it. So I'm just telling you now, I don't necessarily saying that I want James Ward Prowse. I think James Ward Prowse is a one-dimensional footballer. I really do. I would prefer, and I said this in yesterday's video, I think I'd prefer an athlete in there. I think ideally, I'd like an athlete that can pass and move us up the pitch quickly. So a stopper, defensive midfielder, an athlete with a really good engine, fast player, and Paqueta. That would be my chosen blend. That's my choice. However, I read in the comments, somebody said, I don't think I could bear, if we sign James Ward Prowse, I don't think I could bear watching James Ward Prowse, it was something like lining up for a free kick and Souček heading it in. And my initial reaction was, oh yeah, no, I don't fancy that much either. I don't really fancy James Ward Prowse coming in. I don't want Souček there. And I thought, hold on a minute. How bothered will I actually be? How attached am I to this perceived style of football, which I prefer? And I go back to the start of the video, which was how many people get the style of football that they prefer at their football club. Probably not too many. But would I be bothered? So let's say next season, and I won't even go too far. There's been a lot of comments the last few days saying Moyes is staying, we're signing James Ward Prowse, we're going to get relegated next season. It's far too early to say. There's not enough data. We don't know what our team's going to be, what our squad's going to be. We need an overhaul. Without knowing who the players are going to be, it's impossible to say that we're going to be like worse than Luton or something. You just don't know. You don't know. Okay. However, I started to think about it. I started to look at it. So let's give a reasonable example. If we're winning some games and losing some games, but we are mid-table, but we're still in January, and we're still in the later rounds of Europe. We've got through the group. I don't think that is unreasonable to suggest that. I know there's many people saying we're going to get relegated. But I don't think it's unreasonable to suggest that maybe West Ham next season might be about mid-table and in the knockout rounds in Europe again. There's good data for that, you see. That there is good data for. If that's happening, and one of the reasons we're up there is because we've signed James Ward Prowse, and once again, we are the best team in the league at set pieces, how bothered will I actually be? Will I be bothered that I'm not getting the style of football that ideally I would like? 4 or 5 passes on the ground, out to the winger, crossed over, Fox in the box, popping it in. I don't know. I'm not sure I'd be that bothered, actually. I've got to say. I think I'd be up for it. Much as they are not the combination of players I would choose to play in midfield for West Ham. Maybe I would be thinking, hold on, West Ham got a corner here. All the big fellas go up. Zuma goes up. Ogbono, whoever. Probably Ogbono doesn't might be playing that much, but you get the idea. Souček goes up and he's probably signed a few more giants by then. And everyone, the opposition, are just crapping themselves because West Ham have got the best free kick taker, the best corner taker in the league and a load of big fellas. Will I be there thinking, I don't like this brand of football? I don't think I'd be. I'd be there going, whoa. Honestly, I think I'll be waiting for that ball to go over. And come on, get in there. I think I'd be involved in the moment. I'm not even sure Antonio will be here. That's what I say. It's hard to know, but I'll be thinking, come on, block the goalkeeper off. Come on, dominate. Let's get some set pieces going. I think I would. I think I'd enjoy it. I think I'd be up for it. I think I'd start to revel in the fact that West Ham were good at set pieces again. I sort of accept that we won't be the best at passing. Frustrates me with David Moyes a lot of the time that he plays this counter-attacking game. He doesn't have enough fast players in the team. I know I go on about it. We lack pace. We really do. So I think, you know what, mate? I don't mind you playing counter-attack. If you want to sit back and defend, fine. But give us something on the break. If what we're going to have is 30% possession, okay. But let's make sure in that 30% that we're really attacking them. That you've got the fast players who can hurt the opposition. Again, not my preferred style of football. I prefer a bit more. That being said, I'm not sure I'd want to be the team that had loads of possession. Funnily enough, talk about that when we played Southampton later on in the season. They had loads of possession. I think them and Fulham had loads of possession against us. Didn't really do anything. Couldn't hurt us. Not sure I'd want to be that team either. I think the point I'm trying to make is not necessarily sure how important the style of football is. What I do think is important is not attacking. And I think that's the difference. Do I want to sit back and not attack and finish a game having sort of no shots? I don't want that at all. That was part of the reason I think David Moyes got sacked in his first... Not sacked, he didn't get sacked. He didn't have his contract renewed after his first stint. There were a couple of games where we had less than 30% possession. I don't know why. 24% is sticking in my mind. And we had one shot in the game. I remember that. Not in the first half. We had one shot in the second half. I think it was awful. That I don't want to see. I really don't. I don't think anyone can handle that. But you know what? I mean, there were times when we were playing well, playing that sort of counter-attacking tactic, and we were getting corners and winning headers, and you almost felt we were shooting so as we could get a corner sometimes. I don't mind that. I don't mind. We'd finish a game sometimes, we'd have 15 shots, 8 on target. I don't mind that at all. Don't mind that at all. So I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking, okay, I do think it's wasted money with Ward Prowse. I mentioned the same with Polinia yesterday. I think in many respects you don't see that money back. But if what we get at the end of it is the best free kick taker and the best corner taker in the league, and you get Thomas Souček back to the point where he was scoring 10 goals again, how bothered would we actually be?